Today we're actually going to be doing a little bit of a comparison between the different features here of Autopilot that are available and why it's pretty sad that they've canceled auto steer for new Tesla vehicles. So I'm going to go ahead and start it off on traffic aware cruise control, which I assume is going to actually get my self-driving miles percentage to go down a little bit. I am at 98% right now on full self-driving on version 14.2 over the course of 2,400 miles. Traffic aware cruise control, you do have the option, it would appear, for the traffic light and stop sign control. However, I think that was an option that you could only get when you had either enhanced autopilot or full self-driving. But these other options are all still available. So all these other safety options for your Tesla are available when you have just the traffic aware cruise control, which is basically just, it's going to set the speed and it's going to not run into someone in front of it, like another car going slow, but you will be in charge of all of the steering. Then you would go up to the autopilot and that adds the steering ability. So we're going to go ahead and just test out the traffic aware cruise control, just to overview on how that works, and then step it up to the other ones after that. All right, so we do have just the traffic aware cruise control available. I could turn it on right now. It sets the max speed at, well, you can do whatever speed you want, but you do have to control the steering. I went ahead and disengaged it here because I did need to stop for the stop sign. I did not put on the traffic light and stop sign control. So it's basically just only usable when you're going to be continuing down the road, such as on the interstate or something like that. So I'll go ahead and I'll set it right here. So I can set it to whatever I want, and it's just going to go that speed. So I can actually set it up to 80, 90, 90. I don't want to go 90. 50 is good. So you just engage it with one stock pull, but have it off, and or have it on, and like it does have the lane keep assist, so it kind of gave me a warning there as it got to the edge of the lane. But otherwise, it's just me steering, and the car is just going to keep the distance of cars in front of it. So hopefully we'll find someone that is turning or something, and that we need to slow down for. So just regular cruise control is all this is, basically. And it doesn't have any lane keeping, and I don't have the traffic aware cruise or the traffic light and stop sign control, so it was not going to stop at this sign here. So now I'm going to see if we can, well, you have to be in park, I believe. Yeah, so you have to be in park to put it on autopilot, but we'll do that in just a moment and check the difference for that. But you can just turn on traffic aware cruise control and turn it off, and that's fine. I would say that for sure on a long drive, it's much more preferable to have the auto steer, because you can really just monitor it, and it takes a lot of stress off. The traffic aware cruise control, is basically what I've, had on cars in the past, say like 10 years ago, even more, 15 years ago, maybe, had the traffic aware cruise control. And so it's really hard to go back to the traffic aware cruise control without auto steer. All right, so we'll put it in park right here, switch it to auto steer, and it does tell you that you can change the distance. You do one pull down to activate and that sort of thing. So the follow distance you can adjust with the scroll wheel left and right. you can change the set speed up and down, and it's still just one pull down on the stock to activate. So we'll just go ahead and say yes, we want to do that. You can change it to a single pull or a double pull. If you do double pull, I believe the single pull would actually turn the traffic aware cruise control on. So I did figure it was worth talking about this because Tesla has taken this feature out of new vehicles. So all you would have is a traffic aware cruise control. New vehicles that you purchase from Tesla today will not have the auto steer feature. So that is unfortunate. So we will go ahead and navigate. Let's just go to Walgreens right there. All right. So we'll have to, okay, that goes, I don't know what he's doing. Now he's like driving in a circle. Whatever. All right. So with Autopilot, any street that is well marked, it will be able to stay within the lane. So this is marked. I can put on Autopilot and it is going to stay centered within this lane. So it has the two lines there to indicate that it is steering. So it is steering for us right now, and it's going to stay within the lines here. Now, at this point, it's a little squirrely when you go around turns because it's not really designed for that. So what I would normally do is when I take a turn, I would do that, and then I would re-engage Autopilot or auto steer. So should be able to go up to, okay, this one you can go pretty much as high as you want, I guess, on Autopilot, which is surprising. But we really should be going closer to 50. I haven't used Autopilot in quite a while. It's acting weird right now. I think it's actually taking into account the navigation. So maybe I should just end my navigation. Yeah. So it should be keeping basically 50 miles per hour, however we want. Should work pretty well for that. And basically, I don't have to have my hands on the steering wheel, although I would keep my hands on the steering wheel for Autopilot. I think it actually does require you to have force every now and then, so maybe you are supposed to keep your hands on the wheel, but it has eye tracking. I don't know if it takes into account the eye tracking for Autopilot or only for FSD. But this feature right here, okay, it does say apply slight force. So I think it does want to keep your hand on the steering wheel. So what I would normally do is keep my hand somewhere like this, just to have a little bit of weight on the steering wheel, just so it knows that I still have my hands on the wheel and ready to take control at any point in time. And we will slow down for these cars coming up because it is still has the radar cruise control, the dynamic radar cruise control, or the traffic aware cruise control is what they call it. But it stays within this lane. And it's interesting because it's actually, I can tell that it's not as robust as FSD has been for a long time. It's still, if there's like the lane lines go away, like here, sometimes it will kind of move a little bit. But for the interstate driving, if you're on the highway, this is a great feature and takes a lot of stress out of driving. So just that feature, and that used to be included with all Teslas that were sold. So for probably the better part of a decade, Autopilot has just been available as a standard feature for all Teslas, and they took it away. And now your only option is to either just do the traffic aware cruise control, or you can get FSD, which is going to be $99 a month. So then with the FSD, we can go here now that we're in park, switch it to FSD. It's a pull down activation, or actually on version 14, you can actually just tap start FSD on the screen. So I agree. Yes, I want to do it. Okay. And yeah, and that did count. So my self-driving miles actually went down versus the total miles. So that did impact my, 98%. It still rounds up to 98%, even after, I guess it was like 5 miles that we drove. But now that I have it on FSD, if I put in a route to go somewhere, and so let's go to Walgreens there. So we're sitting here and we can just hit start self-driving. It will reverse and it will do all the driving for me. Don't have to have my hands on the steering wheel. All I have to do is make sure that my eyes are on the road. I am monitoring it, so it is full self-driving supervised. And so I really think it's a shame that they took away Autopilot, and I think it's a way for them to try to push people to do FSD, but a lot of people are not willing to do FSD. They're not willing to try it. They're not willing to use it. Also, it is $100 a month right now, and in the future, it is going to potentially be more expensive. So not everybody obviously is going to be able to afford that or want to pay for that. And so it's just a shame that Tesla took away such a basic feature of the Autopilot, which is very helpful for everyday driving, that was available on every Tesla. I'm going to go ahead and turn left, do a different direction here, because I actually do want to go the other direction, even though it really wants me to go right here, but I'm going to go left, even though it doesn't want me to. So I'm just choosing to kind of override, manually drive here for a second, and then now it's going to reroute, and I can put the car back in full self-driving by hitting the stalk one time, and it's good to go back in full self-driving. So yeah, just the difference between traffic aware cruise control, auto steer, which is no longer available in new Teslas, and FSD supervised. Those are just the 3 different options you have, but auto steer is no longer available for new vehicles. I am actually very curious as to whether, if you purchase full self-driving in a new Tesla that does not have Autopilot, do you then get the option for Autopilot? I don't know. I don't know if you do or not. If anybody knows, please comment below. Let me know if purchasing full self-driving in a new Tesla that does not have Autopilot will then give it that option in this menu, in the Autopilot menu, to switch it back to Autopilot in those cases. Because I've actually had situations where I think I would have preferred auto steer, because it's right now with version 14, there's a lot of speed control issues, but we can save that for another day, another video. But anyway, let me know if auto steer is available on a new Tesla that has purchased full self-driving or is subscribed to full self-driving. I'd be interested to know if that is the case. Otherwise, I think what Tesla should do is they should offer a very cheap option for a limited full self-driving version, or like an auto steer thing that basically only works when it's well marked lanes and stuff like that, and only basically doesn't do any of the navigation, but it just keeps you in the lane all the time when it's well marked, just like Autopilot basically. But do it for very cheap, or honestly, they should just include it for free, because that's how they did it before. So anyway, that's it for this one. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.